G-O-D-R-E. What a nigga dream, he can try to be. Even though I'm from a place where a nigga got text don't mean technology. Go around blood, niggas still camaraderie. Plus crip niggas on the other side of me. But I'm the only nigga that I ever try to be. Winning ever since, know these niggas tired of me.
What's going on, Squirrel Squad? How you guys doing? I'm doing alright today. We'll be reacting to two creepy and disturbing true school. Hold up. Let me slow down real quick. Hold on, let me catch my breath. Hold on. Okay, so what's going on, Squirrel Squad? How you guys doing? I'm doing alright today. We'll be reacting to two creepy and disturbing true school lockdown stories. Okay, so yeah, the original video will be in the description down below. This video was requested by one of you guys, so if any of you guys have any reaction requests y'all like for me to react to next, I'll feature your requests in the next video. So make sure y'all go ahead and leave a link to all the videos y'all like for me to react to in the comment section down below. Let me get to it. I promise you. I'm sorry, y'all. I just had some water. I'm saying water stuck in my throat, so you know it is what it is. You know. And yeah, man, subscribe to my channel if you're new, turn on post notifications. Also, follow my social media sites. Those will be in the description down below. And if you're finna get straight into this video, yeah, enough talking. Let's get it, gang. Let's go. I'm tripping. I'm really tripping out right now, y'all. So don't mind me. Don't mind my energy right now. I'm kind of, you know, a bit broken a little bit, but you know, it is what it is. Let me get pumped up. All right, we're gonna get straight to this video. Enough talking. Let's get it, gang. Let's go. Alright, it's an 11-minute video.
Horror Nights presents
Horror Nights, yep.
two creepy and disturbing true school lockdown stories. Number 2. The 10th story. In the spring of 2002, Muriel Evans was
1 year old.
And she worked as an English teacher at a private school in Harrisburg, Pennsylvania. She was divorced and had been living alone ever since her only daughter, Stephanie, moved to Philadelphia 2 years prior to attend university. One of the bright spots in Mrs. Evans' life was her grade 12 creative writing class. It was smaller than most of her classes and only had 9 students. On April 11, 2002, Mrs. Evans collected the short stories that the students had written that week. That night, she went home to mark them so that they could discuss them in class the next day. When she got home, she was surprised to see 10 short stories were submitted, and one of them didn't have a name. The title was Tomorrow.
What?
Mrs. Evans picked up the 10th paper and started to read it. The story was narrated in a first-person perspective, so it doesn't hint at the sex of the narrator. In the story, the narrator is sitting in his or her creative writing class. In the narrator's bag is a 9mm Smith & Wesson and 2 loaded clips.
What?
The narrator talks about feeling ecstatic about what they are about to do and how much they loathe their fellow students. The narrator looks at the teacher and thinks about how the teacher will follow through with the plan because her daughter's life depends on it. In the story, the teacher alerts the principal that there is a danger and the school needs to be locked down.
That's crazy.
The other kids now locked in the room with the narrator. He or she takes the gun out, and while the teacher watches on in horror, the narrator shoots all their classmates, reloads, and then fires off 9 more shots at the kids who are still moving.
What?
The narrator turns to the shocked teacher, and the last sentence on the page reads, "Thank you, and you can find your daughter." When Mrs. Evans flipped to the next page, there was a picture of her 20-year-old daughter tied up and gagged, and she was lying in a makeshift coffin with the lid open.
Wow.
Mrs. Evans called the daughter's apartment, but no one answered. She also tried her cell phone, but it went straight to voicemail.
Wow.
Mrs. Evans went back to the story and flipped to the last page. It reads, "As you can probably tell, your daughter is in quite a bind. But it's worse than you think. Currently, she is buried somewhere in this vast world with oxygen tanks that will allow her to breathe for 16 hours in the coffin. That will give you more than enough time to call the police and save her. But first, you have to do what I need you to do. And now that you've read my story, you know what you have to do. If you call the police, or don't show up, or don't call in the lockdown, you will never find out where she's buried.
Wow.
It then
That's
says,
scary.
the end. Mrs. Evans had
Wow.
no idea what else to do, so she drove the 2 hours to her daughter's apartment. But she wasn't there. In fact, it looked like there'd been a struggle. On the drive over, and after seeing her apartment, Mrs. Evans knew that she would do anything for her daughter.
Yeah,
That
I know that's
included
right.
even letting 8 innocent students be murdered. Mrs. Evans drove home and stayed up all night. At 6 a.m., she got ready for school. Creative
Wow.
writing was her first period class, and all 9 students who were 17 and 18 years old arrived on time.
High schoolers?
Nothing on any of their faces revealed who wrote the story.
Wow.
When they had all taken their seats, she looked around hoping for the last time that the author would show themselves. But they didn't. So, Mrs. Evans walked to the phone on the wall and called the office. She took a deep breath and gave the code for a lockdown.
Wow.
Since it was a private school, they had high-tech security and magnets locked the classroom doors shut.
Oh yeah, no shit.
Tears in her eyes, she turned back to her students and said, "I'm sorry, I didn't know what else to do."
Yeah.
That's when 17-year-old Amber Thornton pulled out a 9mm handgun
Amber.
and started shooting at her fellow students.
A
who
female
ran through the
student?
door. Amber unloaded her first clip of 10 shots and hit each student at least once. She changed the clip and continued to shoot. Amber then turned to Mrs. Evans and said,
Holy
"Thank you for your help, but you'll never find your daughter." Then, before Mrs. Evans could stop her, Amber stuck the gun in her mouth and pulled the trigger, sending a bullet through her brainstem.
Oh.
That she'd never see
Shit.
her daughter again. Mrs. Evans picked up the gun, held it to her head, and pulled the trigger. But there were no bullets left. Ambulances
What?
had only escaped
What?
the school.
Oh
6
shit.
students were killed, including the shooter. Mrs. Evans was arrested, and she told police everything. Unfortunately, the police were never able to find her daughter.
Wow.
Police are not even sure if she was buried alive or if she was dead before the school shooting. While Mrs. Evans may have had an understandable reason to not stop the massacre, that reason didn't free her from prosecution. The
Wow.
parents of the dead children were not sympathetic to her own loss and begged the judge for a stiff punishment.
Wow.
The
Damn.
judge obliged, and Mrs. Evans
So they thinking that the teacher did it. So that's why the shooter killed themselves as well. Cause so basically the teacher is framed. The teacher is framed to make it seem as if she the one who killed, all the students. Like she's some psychopathic, whatever, however I say the word. I don't know how to say the word, but a psychopath. Like they're just trying to make the teacher seem like she's a psychopath and decided, I'm gonna kill all my students. It's like, I'm sorry, I'm spitting y'all out of nowhere, but y'all get what I'm trying to say, right? It's she's getting framed. She's getting framed for a crime that she never committed. It's crazy. Like, wow. Wow. I'm sorry. Something stuck in my throat. I'm drinking so much water. Man.
was sentenced to life in prison.
What?
1. The Nuevo Laredo High School incident. On May 22nd, 2005, an unidentified high school in Nuevo Laredo, Mexico was warned that there was a possible threat, and the school went into lockdown. The lockdown was nothing unusual at the school, as Nuevo Laredo was a hotspot for cartel violence. At the time, the Sinaloa Cartel and the ultra-violent enforcement unit of the Gulf Cartel, called Los Zetas, or the Z's, were at war over the city. However, this lockdown was different, because Los Zetas had recruited teenage soldiers, and they were all in class that day. They all pulled out guns that had been smuggled into the school earlier in the morning, and they distributed them around before classes. With the outside locked, the dozen young Zeta soldiers herded their classmates to the gym. As the students
Is that how they look
filed
like?
in, they separated the biggest teenage boys and kept them in a separate corner of the gym. Also, one soldier went to a door and let in more cartel members, including a high-ranking member named Jesus Alvarez. Alvarez walked into the gym, and most of the students were in the bleachers, except for the soldiers and the bigger teenagers, while the teachers were down on their knees on the floor with their fingers interlocked behind their heads.
Wow.
Alvarez looked out into the crowd and said, "As many of you know, we are battling the evil Sinaloa cartel. To rid them from Nuevo Laredo, we need more strong soldiers. Young men who will follow orders and have the ability to kill on command." Miguel then called out the name of one of his teen soldiers, a 16-year-old, and ordered him to kill the principal.
What?
With hesitation, the boy pulled out a knife and stabbed the principal in his right eye. The other students screamed in terror. The boy kept stabbing the principal in the head. When he was done, the principal's left leg trembled for about 30 seconds before going limp. "Just like that," Alvarez said with a smile. "How we're going to find the new recruits is by having a tournament in this gym, and all of you get to watch." He smiled again. "Okay, let's get the first two." All the larger boys pressed themselves against the wall. None of them wanted to be chosen. When one of them was picked and didn't move, one of the young Zetas shot him dead in the middle of the forehead.
Wow,
None of the other boys resisted. The first two boys went to the center of the gym, and they looked terrified. They were 16 and 14 years old. Alvarez placed a large hunting knife between them, and then said, "Tres dos, uno ve." The 16-year-old got the knife, but the 14-year-old won the fight. After he was dead, Alvarez ordered two of the teachers to move the dead body off the killing floor. The 14-year-old was told to stand in the corner of the gym and wait to see who would join him. By the start of the third fight, blood covered the gym floor.
Wow.
In parts where it had dried, the blood was sticky, but it was slippery in places where it was wet. The slipperiness was a problem for a boy in the third fight who was 15 years old. He slipped and fell to the floor. His opponent, who was also 15, grabbed his head and started bashing it into the ground until the distinctive sound of a cracking skull rang through the gym. The fights continued over the next 2 hours. There were 15 in all. Another candidate had to be pulled from the crowd to replace the boy who was shot. The walk-on managed to win because he got his belt off and looped it around his opponent's neck and choked him out. Alvarez told the walk-on to use the knife to finish him off because killing someone through strangulation took too long. So the boy did. With 15 new soldiers, Alvarez said, "Thank you for your attention. And since this is a school, we hope you learned that you do not mess with Los Zetas. Please go, but do not run or scream, or it will be the last thing you ever do."
Wow, that's a threat.
The cartel led their new recruits out of the gym to waiting SUVs. They left the school without being stopped. The brutal crime shocked the people of Nuevo Laredo. It was horrifying even by cartel standards. However, nothing was done about the incident. Los Zetas would go on to take over Nuevo Laredo. They separated from the Gulf Cartel in 2010, and they currently control Nuevo Laredo. Subscribe for more.
Wow, that second story was really dark. Oh my, and it was weird too. Such a weird story. Like, I don't like the second one. The second one, I feel like it's just, I don't know, it was over exaggerated. The second story was just over exaggerating. Like, like I'm just picturing this shit in my fucking head right now. I'm just like, bruh, it's not a good image, bruh. Like, man, getting stabbed in the freaking eye, and then again, your head bashed into a freaking gym floor, and bro, that is, man, everything's just freaking graphic to me. Like, I feel like the second story, that was savage. That was savage as fuck right there, not gonna cap. And the first story, then the teacher got life in prison. you know, life in prison without parole for a crime that she never committed. It's freaking crazy. It's freaking like mind blowing, like mind blowing. Like I'm just like out of my freaking mind right now. Like what the hell? Like, oh my goodness. Man, it's a crazy ass story, man. It's a crazy ass video in total. So hope you guys enjoyed this reaction video. If you did, give this video a big fat thumbs up. Comment down below what's your favorite part of this video. Request any video ideas. If you have any videos y'all like me to react to that was similar to this video, comment down below on any videos that y'all would like me to react to next. Send a link to them. I'm gonna react to it next. So yeah, man, subscribe if you're new, turn on post notifications. We're on our way to 1,000 subscribers and 100K subscribers, y'all. No cap. And follow my social media sites. Those will be in the description down below. And so yeah, man, yeah, it's a dope ass video, but at the same time it was scary and, you know, very cringy. I really cringed my asshole off. Like, man, I'll see you guys in the next video, y'all. Such a weird video. I'm out. But it's okay though. It's okay if the video was weird because hey, I'm weird too. You know what I'm saying? And so is y'all too. All y'all who are watching this video, y'all are weird and I'm weird and this video is weird. So we're the weird gang, you know what I'm saying? I'll see you guys next video. I'm out. Peace. Peace.